we're going to look at is how we can solve or how we can expand double brackets in the context of solving equations. What we have is two brackets, x plus 3 and x minus 2 on the left side of the equation. Then we've got x squared on the right. Much like in single brackets where we expand the bracket out before we do any solving, we're going to do the same with this. Now the method we employ is called FOIL. It means first outside, then inside last. What this means is first we take care of the outside coefficient, then we take care of the inside coefficient last. Looking at this, the outside coefficient here is x. I know it's in a bracket, but let's suppose that it's the outside coefficient. If we were going to expand this, first we would expand it onto this bracket here. After we've done with the outside, we move to the inside. The inside coefficient is the 3 here. It's going to get expanded onto this bracket here. Having a look at what this would look like, firstly, we grab our outside coefficient, which is x, and we're expanding it onto the first bracket, x take 2. Sorry, the second bracket. Next, I'm going to put a plus, because I'm about to put a second term in. I look at my inside coefficient, which is 3, and then I'm going to expand it on the exact same bracket as before, x take 2. And what this method does is, it has turned a double bracket question, so something we haven't seen before, into something that's actually familiar. We're then able to do the single bracket expansion on these two singular brackets, just like we've been doing all the time in the past. So this is going to go bang, bang, boom, boom. So putting this to work, it's going to be x on x plus x on the minus 2 plus 3 on the x plus 3 on the negative 2. Just made it. And then, completing all the multiplication, we've got x squared plus minus 2x plus 3x's plus a negative 6. And there's one more thing to be doing here before we get it into something that's very familiar. Do you see how we've got an x squared, then we've got two terms that have x's, and then we have the 6 here. Because these guys are like terms, they have the same combination of letters, they're like terms, we're able to add them together. So minus 2 plus 3, anyone remember what that's going to be? 1. So it's going to turn into negative 6 x plus x squared. And then finally on the right, we're presented with the x squared. So I haven't had to write anything here because it's all going to track down to the final line where I'm now going to modify both sides. Now, second thing that I've only shown you a handful of times, we've got x squareds and we've got x's. What we want to do is we want to only work with one sort of variable if possible. You can see that there's x squareds on both the left and the right, and it's one lot of them both. So suppose we wanted to get rid of the x squareds on the right, we would take it from both sides. But this does something really convenient. It actually cancels it on both sides of the equation for us. So no more x squareds to deal with. It's simply nothing on the right, minus 6, then x. And then finally, we've got an equation that should be fairly straightforward to solve now because there's only one more operation. What are we going to do to solve this, Nathaniel? What will we do?
X equals negative 6.
Doesn't equal negative 6, it's going to equal 6. Because we can rearrange to make x the subject, which means x is going to be 6. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
So first thing we're going to do is split or expand the bracket. I'll say split the double bracket. Oops. Bracket into two single brackets. So step one, split the double bracket into two single brackets. Step two, expand single brackets. Step three, collect like terms. And step four and onwards, I could say get rid of the x squareds, but this is a very question specific one. When you're in year 10, the x squareds will actually still exist on one side. For year 9, we don't do that. What I'm going to say is move variable terms left, because if you try and move this guy to the left, it will cancel it anyway. And that's all we have to deal with on today's lesson. Finally, solve. Is there anything on the board where the symbols might look like, I don't understand what that means, or I don't understand why you did that? You may not understand how it necessarily works, but you need to know the order in the steps we do, and do you know why it worked? Okay, I'm going to step it up a little. I'll leave it up on the board so there's no need to write it down as we're going through it. We'll have negative y plus 2, and then it will be minus 3y take 4, and this is all going to equal 3y squared plus 1. Yep, that should work. Okay, first one. We are posed with a question that has double brackets. What should we do to get into this question, Archer?
I'll split the double brackets into two single brackets.
Yeah, split the double brackets into two single brackets. To do this, we can use FOIL. First, we focus on the outside. The outside is here, so it's going to split onto these guys. Then we focus on the inside. Starting on the outside, it's going to be minus y as our coefficient, and then our bracket will be minus 3. Y take 4. Next, we're going to deal with inside last. Inside one is the 2. We're going to put it on the minus 3y take 4 bracket. So I go plus 2 minus 3y take 4. We've now turned the double bracket into a single bracket, something we're already familiar with. To do this, we expand out. So bang, bang. This is going to turn into minus y minus 3y plus minus y minus 4. Next bracket, boom, boom. 2 minus 3y plus 2 minus 4. My equal sign's a bit wonky, but that's okay for now.
Wonky.
Yep, they're not in line. That's bad. I'll try and do better. Okay, doing the multiplication out. Starting from right and moving left to get my spacing okay. That'll be minus 8. This is going to be negative 6y. This is going to be plus 4y. And this is going to be it's going to be plus 3y squared. So all I'm doing is I'm multiplying out. Next step, I'm going to collect like terms. These two terms in the center both have the same combination of variables, so we're able to sum the coefficients, so we're able to collect the like terms. This means that we have minus 8 here, we have minus 2y over here, it has 3y squared over here. And then on the right side, we still have 3y squared plus 1. All right, hands up. What will we do now? We have a flat expression, no brackets, nothing too fancy on the left, and the same on the right. What should our next step be? What are we going to do?
Variable terms left.
Variable terms left. Which one needs to move to the left?
The y.
Excellent, the 3y squared. That's going to be 1. These cancel because they're the same. So we get minus 2y, take 8. Next step, any ideas, guys?
Solve it.
Solve it. How do we solve it? We have variable term constant equals a constant. What do we need to move?
Variable.
Variable term's good. The 8. The constant's got to go. We remove the minus 8 by adding 8 to both sides. 9 on the right, minus 2y on the left. How do we know what a singular y is? We do what? Divided by minus 2 in this case. So we end up with an answer of y equals negative 9 over 2, which is the same as saying y equals negative 4.5. Either answer is fine. I'm just going to leave it as a fraction because it requires less work. And then drop the mic. Okay, are we all right with what we've seen on the board, guys?
Yeah.
Probably not going to remember this after one lesson. Typically it takes a few lessons to get it down pat, but we will encounter this a fair few times next term. For now, did anyone have any questions about what's happened or? You all good? Okay, super.